All right then. So just coming into a comfortable seated position for you. So close to Valentine's Day, there's only one choice for our group today, and that's love. So Valentine's Day is about romantic love. So remembering that love makes us feel uplifted and light-hearted and joyful. So if we feel loved, nothing can stop us, and we feel young and playful. So as you move through your yoga practice today, just thinking about love and being young and playful in your practice. And we're doing some nice heart opening asana. So let's start now. We might come up to a standing position for our start today. And then we're going to inhale and bring our arms up nice and tall, looking up towards the ceiling, stretching up, opening up your heart towards the ceiling. And as we exhale to one side and then the other, inhale to the center, exhale to the other side. Coming into your breath, letting your breath initiate the movements. And then bringing your arms down, give your shoulders a little roll through. And back the other way. And then taking our left arm across our body and right hand underneath and looking over to the left side. Give our shoulders a nice stretch through the left side first. Taking a couple of breaths here. Softening your eyes and noticing the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. And then take it to the other side. So right hand across your body, left hand, bringing that arm, drawing that arm, right arm to the left, looking over the right shoulder and tuning back into your breath. And then reaching up towards the ceiling again, opening up your heart, porting your heart towards the ceiling. Taking your legs, just heel toe them out a little wider. And exhale as you bring your body down into a forward fold. Let your head fall heavy. And taking a few breaths here. Let's take 4 more breaths. And then inhale, bring your arms back up to heart center and bring your feet back together. And we're going to go into some warrior sequences. We start with warrior 1, turn our left foot out slightly and step forward with the right foot. The right knee is bent, and we're going to inhale, lift our arms up, reach to the ceiling, opening up our chest and taking 4 breaths here. Imagine you're holding a big beach ball and you're reaching up with that ball. And then taking the left hand back, right hand forward, looking towards the right hand with the right knee bent. And really elongate out through the arms, opening the chest for 4 breaths. And then lengthening out the right leg and bringing both hands down to the mat. If you have a block, you might like to place a block next to your right foot and put your right hand on it. Straighten out your right leg and lift and inhale as you lift that left hand up towards the ceiling, taking 4 breaths here. And then bringing the left hand down to the mat. Inhale, coming all the way up, taking the right hand to the ceiling and the left hand behind you down to the back of the left leg, and really lifting that right hand up towards the ceiling, opening up through the chest and the right side of the body. 2 more breaths here. And then bring your hands back to heart center and bring your legs back together, and we'll take it to the other side. So right foot, right toe slightly pointed out, and step forward with the left leg, having your hips and your shoulders facing forward. We're going to inhale, lift our arms and bend our left knee. Imagine you're holding that beach ball again and lifting up your hands towards the ceiling, opening up through the chest for 4 breaths. Feel that stretch through the right hip. And then take the left hand forward, right hand back, looking to the left hand, still with this bend in your left knee. 4 breaths here. And stretching out the hands. And then bring both hands down to the mat. Straighten out your left leg. Bring your left hand down to the mat and the right hand up towards the ceiling, and take your eyes up with the right hand, opening up through the chest, a nice stretch through the back. Taking 4 breaths, feeling that deep stretch through the chest and the right hand, and also through the back of the left leg. And 1 more breath. And then bring the right hand down. And this time we're going to lift the left hand up to the sky and right hand down the back of our right leg, and really stretching up through the body towards that left hand. Two more breaths. And then bring your hands back to heart center and give your legs a little shake. Next one we're going to do is a sun salute. Just have to move my yoga buddy. Okay, so we're going to come to the top of the mat. And we're going to do 4 rounds. The reason everything's 4 today is 4 is the number for love. So we're going to inhale, lift our arms up, stretch up towards the ceiling, and exhale, fold forward. Then inhale, lift the chest, lengthen out the spine, and step back into your plank. And then lowering your body down to the mat. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Rolling your toes under and bringing your hips up to the ceiling into downward dog. Take your gaze forward and step forward into forward bend. Inhale, lift the chest and lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw your chest to your legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up again. And back to heart center. Nice. So we've got 3 more rounds. If you find that you need to rest, it's okay to rest in child's pose or savasana. So let's go for round 2. Inhale, lift our arms, raise our gaze. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. And then step back into plank. And then slowly lower the body down to the mat. Inhale, lift up through the chest into an upward dog. Tuck our toes under and bring our hips into downward dog. Take your gaze forward and step forward into forward bend. And then inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw your chest to your legs. And then inhale, come back up. Hands back to heart center. Nice work, everyone. That's 2 rounds. We've got 2 to go. Let's take a couple of breaths here before we begin, just to settle our breath down. Okay, so inhale, lift and lengthen the arms looking up to the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, and then step back into your plank. And slowly lower your body down to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest into an upward dog. And then exhale, tuck your toes under and into your downward dog. Take your eyes forward, step forward into forward bend. Inhale, lift the chest, open up the heart area. Exhale, draw your chest to your legs. And inhale, come all the way back up to standing. Good, last round. This one gets the energy level going, gets the heat going. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen your spine. And exhale, step back into plank. And then slowly lower your body to the mat. Inhale, lift up to upward dog and tucking your toes under. Exhale to downward dog. Take your gaze forward and step forward into forward bend. Inhale, lift. And exhale, draw your chest to your legs. And inhale, come all the way back up. And hands back to heart center. Just softening your eyes and taking a few breaths here. Coming back to our theme for today, which is yoga and being young and lighthearted. We've just done quite an active sequence there. And we're going to go into a couple of balancing poses next. So we're going to open up our feet, open up our toes, the right toes first, just moving our body around in a little circle to get in touch with the anchor points. And we're going to start off with lifting our left foot up into our left hand and take our right hand up and really stretching up through that left quad. We'll take 4 breaths here. And then if you can, kicking that left foot back and taking the right hand forward into dancer, lifting up through the chest. For 4 breaths as well. And then release. Well done. Okay, give your legs a little shake. Okay, and we'll go to the other side. So this time we're going to start with the left toes opened up, and we're going to do that little circle, just getting in touch with the anchor points underneath our left foot. So behind the big toe and the little toe and on the heel. And we're going to lift up our chest and take the right foot, bend the right knee and bring the right foot into the right hand. And then take the left hand up for 4 breaths. Getting yourself nice and stable. And then we're going to take our chest forward. kicking the right foot back. You might need to hang on to something. That's it. So kick the right foot back, lifting up through the chest, left hand out. And release. Nice work. You might find you work better on one side than the other, like I did. And then we're going to come down to all fours on the ground. And we're going to do a few cat-cows. So as we inhale, we're going to lift up our chest, opening up the chest, opening up the heart center. And exhale, bringing our spine up towards the ceiling, opening up all the little vertebrae. Let's take full breaths here. Two more breaths. Okay. And the next one we're going to do here is we're going to do similar to what we just did. We're going to this time lift our left knee off the mat and bend our left foot, taking the foot to the right side, pick the right hand up and reach back. And we're going to kick the left leg out, opening up through our chest. And we're going to hold this for 4 breaths. One more breath. And then release. And taking our knees wide into a child's pose and just stretching out our back. Take the hands forward. Just take 4 breaths here. Nice rest and stretch into child's pose. And one more breath. And coming back onto all fours. Opening up through the hands, making sure your knees are underneath your hips. And this time we're going to lift up the right knee up off the mat, lifting the knee nice and high and take the foot across to the left side, taking the left hand back and holding on to that right foot. Kick the right foot back and raise your chest for 4 breaths. So really opening up through that heart area, feeling the stretch through the right quad. And then release, bring the hand and the knee back to the mat and come back to child's pose again. So allow your hands to walk forward, bring your forehead down to the mat for 4 breaths. Tuning back into your breath. And then coming back up to all fours. And we're going to do some downward dogs and upward dogs. So we're going to tuck our toes under and lift our hips up to the sky. And we're going to take a few breaths here and walk our heels down towards the mat. And take one more breath. And then we're going to take our chest forward into an upward dog. So you can roll over your toes and have your knees off the mat, or you can have your knees on the mat, whichever feels right for you. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then roll back over your toes again into downward dog. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Notice a big stretch through the back of the shoulders. And then one more breath here. And then rolling over the toes again into upward dog. And taking 4 breaths here. And then allow your knees to drop down to the mat and coming back into nice wide knees on the mat and bring your forehead down to the mat again. And walk your hands forward and just resting here. And one more breath. From here, we're going to come up to standing on our knees. If you need to place something underneath them, you can. And we're going to inhale and lift our arms, looking up towards the sky, stretching our arms, opening up through the chest, and then bringing your hands back behind you, either to your, holding onto your buttocks, so chest up towards the sky. You can actually drop one hand back to your right heel and hold it here. And if you feel you'd like to challenge yourself a little more, a little bit more playful, you can take the left hand back to the left heel into camel. Or you can just stay with your hands on your buttocks. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then bringing your hands back to the mat. And a couple of cat-cows. Just rinsing out your spine after that back bend. And taking your knees wide on the mat, bringing your buttocks down to your heels. And we're going to go into a child's pose, but this time we're going to have our hands back towards our feet and holding that for 4 breaths. So just letting your arms flop down towards the mat. Just getting back in touch with your breath. One more breath here. Then we're going to stay in the child's pose, but lift our hands up and clasp them behind our back. And raise the hands up off the lower back, stretching through the shoulders and the arms for 4 breaths. And then release the hands back to the mat. Coming back into child's pose. And then taking your hips forward, coming into cobra. Bringing your 4 hands down to the mat. And we're going to inhale, lift up through the chest, bringing the shoulders back and down, squeezing the buttocks. Opening up through that heart, really lifting the heart. And then releasing your chest down to the mat. And we're going to take our right hand forward. We're going to bend our left knee and take the left hand back to the left foot into a half bow pose. And we're going to lift up through the chest, kick that left foot back for 4 breaths. And then release, bring the left hand down to the mat and taking it to the other side. So bending the right knee, reaching back with the right hand and holding on to the right ankle. And we're going to inhale and lift up our chest, kick the leg back for 4 breaths here. And then allow your chest to fall down and stay holding onto the right foot. And this time we're going to reach back and grab the left foot. So we've got both hands. And then we're going to inhale, lift up our chest, kick back both feet, coming into the full boat pose for 4 breaths. Feeling that stretch through both quads and opening up right through the chest and arms and shoulders. And then release. Allow your knees to come down to the mat. Bring your hands down beside you. Knees still bent and just rocking your feet from side to side, taking any stress out of your lower back. You can bring your hands down underneath your forehead or the side of your head and just let your feet go from side to side. And just turn your ear to the other side. Okay, and then from here we're going to go onto our back. Hugging your knees towards your chest and doing some circles on your lower back. And bringing your feet down to the mat, knees bent, and we're going to go up into a bridge pose. So sliding your heels back towards your buttocks. And we're going to inhale, lift up our hips and bring your hands underneath. If you can clasp them, or you can place your hands on the mat. If you're clasping them, walking your shoulders a little closer together. Really lifting up through the hips, opening up through that heart again, pushing down through the heels as though you're going to try to rip the mat in half as high as you can. Let's take 4 breaths here. Squeezing the buttocks. And then slowly lower your spine down to the mat and hug your knees up to your chest into Apanasana. From here, we're going to go into our legs up pose. So you can go into legs up the wall or legs up whatever you have in your room there, or you can go into a shoulder stand, whatever feels right for you. So I'm lifting up. If you're in the shoulder stand, drawing your elbows slightly closer together. Let your ankles do some little circles. It's nice and light through the legs. And coming back to your breath. You might like to take your feet wide. And then bring your soles of your feet together, knees out wide like a butterfly. And then take your feet up in the air again. If you're in a shoulder stand, you might like to take the feet over your head into a plow pose. We'll have 4 more breaths. And then inhale as you slowly lower your spine down to the mat and come into a comfortable position for Savasana. You might like to have your knees bent or just something under them to support your lower back. Palms facing towards the floor. Nice and comfortable. If you have a eye pillow. You might like to use it. You might like to put a blanket under your head or over you. So we're going to have a nice 5-minute rest and coming back to the theme of our practice today, which is a light-hearted theme of love and heart opening. So feeling nice and connected through the earth's energies and through those energies of love and youthful romantic love. Tuning into your breath, but keeping it completely spontaneous. Enjoying the energies of your yoga practice. tuning into the sounds within your room and the sounds outside the room. Feeling the earth beneath your body lying in Savasana. Notice how your body feels and how your mind is and your energy level. Taking a couple more breaths here and start to wiggle your fingers and toes and stretching out through the hands and the feet. And slowly rolling to one side. And you can rest there if you wish, or come up to a comfortable seated position. I have a yoga quote for you today. Yoga adds years to your life and life to your years. So I hope you enjoyed your practice today. Thank you for being here, being together. Let's bring our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts and to our lips for kind words and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste. How did you all go today?